Hello, how are you? Good to see you. Slightly different video today. This is all off the cuff. I haven't got any plan. I've got no idea what I'm going to say. But we are at 18 months sober. 18 months of sobriety, folks. And I know some of you don't care. Some of you are like, oh, so what? But I just wanted to talk about it just in case, there's someone out there that's struggling and they want to understand how it's possible to do it. Maybe they want some pointers, and I don't know. I just think it's better to talk about it than not talk about it, innit? So why did I decide to go sober, folks? Well, I was quite unhappy, really. I have struggled with mental illness for years and years and years and years and years. Goes back to childhood, basically, and just generally never dealt with it over the years until I did, and even then, it was difficult to manage. However, I did manage it, and I carried on drinking, which was a mistake. So, why was it a mistake, Roy? I hear you not ask. Because alcohol is a depressant, and if you are the sort of person that suffers from mental illness, then you don't want a depressant on top of depressant. It's just going to make you worse. So what I found was, while I was having a few beers and generally being happy, that happiness only lasted for a very brief moment. I'd have a peak, and then all of a sudden it's like turning a light on. It'd be downhill, and the down after the up, the brief moment of up, was probably about 10 times worse than the normal down. Not being on alcohol and just coping with it and getting on with it. And also I was doing some really stupid things and regretting it and hurting myself. I hurt myself a few times. Fell over, smashed my teeth in, which I had to pay for. Loads of little things, not just me but other people too. And I wasn't very nice when I was in the zone. I was a bit of a horrible person, really. I'm not going to swear, but I was horrible to people, and and I started to hate myself. And I used to look in the mirror and I'd go, I hate my life, I hate my life, I hate my life. And I was just so unhappy. And it just took a long time to realise that perhaps this probably wasn't a good idea. I know it's stupid, and looking back on it, why didn't I do it sooner? But I did it. I got out of it and I stopped doing it. So I stopped drinking for a year when I was 49 up to 50. And then one weekend I fell off, folks, and I had a few drinks. And I think that was the moment where I realised that I can't do this, because I can't do small amounts. I can only do big amounts. I'm an all or nothing kind of person, so I go for it or I don't bother. And that's generally been my thing throughout my entire life, really. So yeah, there was that, and I decided that I can't do it anymore. And it was basically, I think it was around about the time when we had the lockdown imposed on us in the UK. Must have been March the 20 something last year that I stopped, and I said I'm done, and I'm still done, and I haven't had any temptation really. I've not felt the urge to have a drink really. And maybe I've had, when I've been in pubs, you go to a pub and you have a lunch, sometimes you don't necessarily have a drink, do you? Well, normal people don't. And occasionally I look at the bar and I go, oh, I'd love one of those. But the moment is gone by then. It's like, no, takes over. And I go, okay, I won't then. And it's not even, it doesn't even last that long. It's like a subconscious thought, and it's instant. You go boom, boom, no, and it's gone. And I have like a non-alcoholic beer. It's usually Heineken 0.0 because that's all they tend to serve in pubs. It's usually on tap though. It's quite nice. It's nice and cold. But yeah, it's quite expensive still. And then I have one of those, and I generally don't have another one. I'll have like a Diet Coke or something. So that's the temptation bit, is fleeting moments that just sort of pop in and then pop out. But initially, it was a bit harder. Probably the first 4 to 12 weeks was a little bit harder because you're used to just drinking all the time, and you have to find other things to do because it does become a habit. Of course, I used to sit here in front of this computer and play music and drink and chat and stuff, and I had to find something to replace that. For a while I tried doing it with playing the music and chatting and stuff to people with the non-alcoholic beers, but the two things were so intrinsically linked that I couldn't separate one from the other, because that was programmed in my brain as something that I used to do and drink doing. So I had to stop doing that, because it was the right thing to do, to not do that anymore. And I miss talking to people and chatting to people and playing the music that I love and getting other people involved in enjoying the music I like and stuff. But I don't do that anymore. I have to find other things to do with myself. So I've found solace, folks, in cooking. Of all things, I've always sort of been interested in cooking, really. I think it started a few years ago when I was made redundant from my previous job, and I had to find something to fill the time because I was struggling to find work. I went for loads of interviews, and for whatever reason, multiple reasons, I just wasn't getting them. A lot of the jobs I was going for turned out not to be the jobs that were advertised. Some of them I just wasn't fit for. Of course, I'm not making excuses. I just wasn't the right fit for that job. And some of them were just a complete waste of time. And you'll find that it's like that for most people. It's very hard when you work in a niche area, in a niche role, as I do. It's quite difficult to get something doing that job, and I've been doing it for so long I didn't really know how to do anything else, so I had to limp on, and eventually I found something, of course, and I'm still there 6 years later. So some things do work out. But I was out of work for a couple of years, and that was a very long time, and that's when I really got into drinking more than perhaps I should have done, because I had time on my hands to do that. And that's when I got into home brewing more, and it just spiraled out of control, really, because I didn't have anything else to do. Sorry about that. Breakfast coming up there. It's disgusting. I know. So yeah, it's easy to get into bad habits, but it's not so easy to get out of them. In fact, it's really hard, and you need a trigger. But the trick is to try and not to wait until that trigger comes. The trick is to see it on the horizon, see it in the distance, and then do something about it. And I just left it too late, really. So as a result, my body has suffered from the abuse over the years. Fatty liver, enlarged spleen, all of which is being monitored. I'm fine. I'm not ill per se, but yeah, it does affect you. I'll be all right. You get that attitude, don't you? Be fine. No, you won't. It'll catch up on you at some point. When you get a bit older, things start creeping up on you, and then you realise, yeah, perhaps I shouldn't have done all those things. But it's hindsight's easy, isn't it? So I don't really know what to say to people, other than, you gotta want to do it, I suppose. You gotta get to a point where you go, yeah, if I do this, if I carry on doing this, I'm probably not going to be around for much longer. And what better time to start looking after yourself than during a pandemic? So everyone around me was basically slobbing out during the pandemic, and I was doing the opposite. I was trying to be good and find things to do and exercise and do a bit of walking and stuff like that. And I'm still doing that. I'm not going mad though. I'm just, plodding along at my own pace. And I very rarely think about drink or some people say, do you miss home brewing? I don't. I miss the process of making something. I think that's what I miss most, and that's why I like cooking, because I'm producing a product. I get something at the end of it that I can enjoy, and hopefully it tastes nice. And generally, when I make something, it turns out all right. I make all sorts of things. A Genoa cake. I'm going to make a tea fruit cake over the weekend. And I like to throw stuff in the slow cooker and do curries and things and make stuff from scratch. Not out of tins. I don't do out of tins, folks. Occasionally I'll cheat and, have a tin. But generally speaking, I will do stuff from scratch. I am the cook in my household. My wife does the cleaning, and that's fine with me. And I do the cooking. And as it turns out, I do the cooking because I'm just a better cook than she is, and she's a better cleaner than I am. I just make a mess. I do the opposite. So that's how it's worked out. And yeah, it's all good. So how do I feel after 18 months? Do I feel better than I did? Mentally, it's been a tough year, isn't it? We've all had a very tough year. Some of us have had COVID, myself included. Over last Christmas, I had COVID. Some of you will know, which was thoroughly unpleasant. But we got through it, and we're still here. Some people haven't been so lucky. And I lost my mum last year, which I'm probably, if I'm honest, still struggling to come to terms with, being the sort of mental case that I am. So yeah, it's been a tough year, and I haven't broken the no alcohol rule, so I'm quite proud of that. If it's time to be proud of anything, of course I'm proud of my children and my wife, my family. But I never used to like myself very much. And if I'm brutally honest, I probably don't like myself very much now, but I don't hate myself as much, which is a good thing. So yeah, I do feel different. I feel better than I did 18 months ago. So we have progressed, folks, which is a good thing. So for those that have asked me why, that's basically why. Has it been difficult? Sometimes it's been difficult, but not for the reasons you would expect. Life has a habit of chucking things in front of you that you're not expecting, and you have to get through those things without falling further into the abyss. And I'm still here, touch wood. Yeah, I should be tapping my head, shouldn't I? We're still here. I realise that, of course I realise that by leaving up all of the alcohol videos I've done over the past has a sort of goes against exactly the way that I am now. I realise, I get that. But some people out there enjoy them, and who am I to stop other people from enjoying themselves? They still get something out of them. I did remove them for a while, thinking, yeah, I'm not sure. I felt like a little bit two-faced. However, as soon as I took them off, people started saying, "Where's all your old videos?" So I put them back. But I can separate the two things, and I hope you lot can too. I think you can, because what's interesting, I think, over the course of the last 18 months or so, is the people who used to watch my videos a lot and comment and things when I was drinking no longer do that. Presumably because they still continue to drink and they can't separate the two things. I don't drink anymore. I'm not. No point in me watching these videos. And I get that. I understand that. But I'm not that person anymore. I'm this one here for now. And that's all we can do, isn't it? We can only live in the moment, folks, and try and improve ourselves, and hopefully we come out of it relatively unscathed. And if we are a little bit scathed, if that is indeed a word, then hopefully we'll heal better and we'll come out at the end of it a better person. Who knows? All we can do is learn from our mistakes and not repeat them, can't we? And as I say, looking back on some of the stuff I used to get up to, it's pretty bleak, you know. I was just a horrible person. I used to take it out on other people, and that was a pretty horrible thing to do. So I do recognise that, and if I upset anyone, well, I know I upset people in the past. That's what I'm saying. That's the whole point of this. Then I am sorry to those people that I upset. But I'm not making excuses for myself. I'm just speaking the truth. I had some serious demons, folks, and those demons haven't totally gone away. They're just here. You know, in the distance though, they're not right on my shoulder. They used to be here, right on my shoulder. They're over, you know, they're at the back there somewhere. Occasionally they'll peek their head around and go, ugh. And I wake up sweating in the night. And then they go, and it's all fine. But it's not as difficult as it used to be. And giving up the booze has made that much better. So if you do struggle to do things, you know, to sort of get through the day, and you know, I mean, we all get fed up, folks, don't we? There is a difference though between being fed up and wanting to jump in front of a bus, or as I did, sit in a car, be driving down the road, and suddenly find yourself thinking, if I carry on driving in that massive white van in front of me, that'll do me in. That'll be it. That's not a good thing, is it? That's when you need to take stock and do something about it. And I did, of course, because I'm still here. So yeah, don't drink if you suffer from mental illness is advice number one. It seems an obvious thing to say, doesn't it? But no, I could make a bet that there are people out there that suffer from depression and other mental illnesses that drink because they think it helps them, and it doesn't. It makes it worse. Maybe not immediately, but in the long term it does. It makes it much worse. So stop it. How do you stop it, Roy? Well, you just stop. I mean, look, you don't do it anymore. You just have to go, right, that's not me anymore. I'm not that person now. I don't do that anymore. And you have to stop. Now, if you're an alcoholic, obviously, you don't stop immediately. You have to wean yourself off of it with the help of a doctor. But, you know, if you're a problem drinker, as I was, then you can just not do it anymore. And that's what I choose to do. I choose not to be that horrible person that I was. Desperately trying not to swear as well, folks. You know what I'm like. So that's pretty much all I've got to say, really. I know this isn't a chummy, happy-go-lucky thing, but I thought this was as good a time as any to chuck this out there, because I am getting to a point now where I don't think I'm going to be doing any more videos. I think this is probably going to be the last one. It's just not worth it. There's no point me making videos if no one's going to watch. So, I'm not saying woe is me, watch. I don't really care. I'm fine with it. I genuinely am fine with it. But there's no point me putting the effort in if people ain't interested in what I have to say. So, if I label this video up as 18 months sober, we might get more viewers watching it, and if we don't, then we don't. But at least, you know, you've heard what I have to say about why I stopped, the reasons why I stopped, and you understand perhaps a little bit better my point of view, my perspective, why I am where I am now. And hopefully, you know, you got something out of some of the videos I've made, if not all of them. And if you are still watching from the old days, and you've watched me through the low alcohol beer reviews, thank you very much. I appreciate you doing that. I just wish more people did, but it's all right. You know, I'm fine with that now, because I'm in a much happier place. The old me would have gone on the defence, of course, and blamed other people for it, and got really upset. And I don't do that anymore, though. That's not me. So it's fine. It's absolutely fine. That's all then. That's all I have to say. Have I got to say anything else? No, I think I've said enough. So thank you for your subscriptions, folks. I do appreciate all the comments you've made over the years, even if it's just you're a new viewer and you've been watching some of the low alcohol beer review. They're not beer reviews, have they? It's just been me chatting. I appreciate you watching those and your thumbs up. And occasionally the thumbs down. It's fine. I'll still get negative comments every now and then, but that's the nature of the beast, isn't it? You put yourself out there and those sort of things happen. So that's all I have to say. Again, thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you've learnt something. I don't know what. I don't think I have. Have I learnt anything at the end of this video, folks? No. I don't think I have. Be nice to each other. Think about your actions, right? And if you are out on the beer and that, and you do start to have negative thoughts and maybe not, but perhaps not just as happy as you want to be, then just think about stopping it for a bit. If not completely, then, you know, just for a short time and see how you feel. And then if you feel a little bit happy about yourself and, you know, you want to carry on doing it, then do it. We're all different, folks, aren't we? And we all have different ways of dealing with things. Just turns out that my way of dealing with things was counterintuitive. It's perhaps not the best way of doing it. And it just took me a very long time to work that out. I know I'm stupid, but hey, none of us are perfect, are we? So that's all. I'll see you in another time, in another place. And thank you all for watching. Take care. Be good to each other. Ta-da.